And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, everybody. It is Friday, October 24th. We're at the end of the first week of the NBA season. I am Josh Engleman, here to break it down today. We've got an interesting schedule and slate. Ignore the time on the Bucks-Raptors game here because I have not updated that yet, but that game is at 6:30. We got a split slate. So we got a 4-game night slate tonight, at least on DraftKings. Wolves, Lakers, Warriors, Blazers, Jazz, Kings, Suns, Clips. Not on the main on DraftKings. We got a 4-game night slate. We've got a 7-game main slate today. Plus this Bucks-Raptors game at 6:30 Eastern time if you're interested in a random one-off showdown. But fun slate to break down today. I'm excited to get into some of it here. We're going to work through some of these teams as well. I'm still working through the Spurs, the Pels, and then the 8:30 start. Projections will be up in a little bit on the site. And we want to pour one out right now for Greg Ehrenberg, who's probably going to just end up in jail for his associations with the Terry Rozier scandal. But anyway, good morning. I hope somebody had a good night last night. I didn't. Sure didn't. Didn't expect the overtimes again. That wasn't helpful. I didn't expect Aaron Gordon to shoot like he did. Holy hell. Jokic couldn't buy a 3. Just a weird night. OKC, man. Weird team. So good. Big win for the Warriors. Lots to talk about here, folks. I do want you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, notification bell. We have a jam-packed schedule for today. I'm going to hit that right now at the jump, just so I don't miss it. So, obviously, this show is going on right now. NBA Strategy Show, 9 a.m. Eastern Time every day. NFL Strategy today. Laffy and the aforementioned Greg Ehrenberg will be live at 10 o'clock, breaking down some NFL stuff heading into the weekend. I will be back with DK DFS on the NBA Deeper Dive at 5 p.m. Greg will be back, allegedly, for Live Before Lock at 6 tonight with Spags. And then Greg and I will be live on Playback tonight at 7 o'clock. Watching the 7 o'clock game because that's the only one on, and then at 7:30 we can move it around, but we're going to watch the games. You could watch along with us on Playback, playback.tv/Stokastic. Come join us. We're going to watch the games. We're going to talk bets. We're going to talk DFS. It should be a pretty good time. Yeah, fun news day yesterday. It was a weird one, man. So I want to finish off my projections and show you guys what I do while I do this. And we can start talking through some of the slate as we await projections and ownership to hit the Sims at Stokastic.com. So you guys caught me right now in the middle of projecting my rotations for the New Orleans Pelicans. And then I'm going to test the lines. So Carlo Makovic is questionable for today. He missed the first one. Yves Missi also questionable. No Kevon Looney, no DeJounte Murray here for the Pels. So I'm just going here through their rotation from the first game, trying to redo some minutes. Saddiq Bey was big off the bench, played 29 minutes. Certainly want to give him a couple extra more. Not that he has to get 29 every time. Hunter Dickinson played 5 minutes in the first half. That was not a guy that I had projected, but I think that has a lot to do with the lack of Carlo Makovic. So I doubt that I'm going to give him any time for this one. Hawkins only played like 17 minutes, but I can bump that up. Jeremiah Fears actually played the final 2 minutes of the game, played 18 minutes. He's going to be so bad for so long, but I hope that he can be something in the league. He's just so little. It's going to take so long. Derek Queen ended up playing 15 minutes or so. Not bad. Jordan Poole played 31. Zion played 33. Trey Murphy played 31. Herb Jones, welcome back, played 36. Good for him. So I need to figure out where I'm clearing out 56 minutes from this team. Valentine's spot. Another profit night. Would have been way better if Nembhard continued on. Yeah, that one hurt me last night. I was big on Andrew Nembhard. Didn't start great from like a shot perspective, 0 for 5, and then that was it. That was it. It was pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Like that wasn't super helpful. It would have been a lot more helpful if he played the whole game. Probably would have got me. I mean, I would have probably came pretty close to breaking even at that point because the other stuff was fine. But I also didn't have, Steph had a pretty good game. Not that it mattered. Five and 4, 7 and 8, I guess. All right, that's the Pels. San Antonio rotation's fine. Can I sim this? Sure can. Okay. Well, let's wait on those sim results. I'm going to keep an eye on... Let me check our projections channel to see if anything's up yet for you guys. Because we got enough time to talk about all of this pretty easily. Let me just hit on the games for right now so we could talk through the schedule. We've got Hawks Magic. That'll be the solo 7 o'clock start tonight. That'll be the game that Greg and I are watching for the first half hour. I'm excited about that. I think the Hawks are good. I think the Orlando Magic are good. I think that's probably the best game of the day. Actually, it's not even close. That's the best game of the day. Obviously, Boston Knicks would have been, but... So we'll start off with Atlanta and Orlando. We've got Celtics, Knicks. A lot of weird stuff going on with the Knicks right now. We've got Cavs and Nets. We've got Pistons, Rockets. If Atlanta, Orlando is not the best game, then Pistons, Rockets is probably the answer there. Miami, Memphis. We get Wemby against the Pels. That he's gonna... Like, no one on the Pels is even close to stopping him. They don't have a single good defensive player to begin with to guard him. Like, obviously, Herb Jones is. We've got Wizards, Mavs, Daniel Gafford revenge narrative. That's the late night hammer, though. That's at 8:30. We've got one game locking at 7. We've got 2 games locking at 7:30, 3 games locking at 8, and then 8:30 start for Wizards, Mavs. Fun late swap slate. Like, you're not going to have a ton of time for it, but at like 7:55, you'll have an hour of Atlanta and Orlando. You'll have most of the first quarter for Boston and the Knicks. You'll have a little bit of an idea if you need to get more different as you proceed. So let's see if I hit anything interesting on those Spurs and Pelicans projections. So I want to explain what you guys can see. This is going to be my personal projections on the screen right now before the Stokastic stuff gets up. And you'll see little highlighted spots underneath projections for points, rebounds, and assists right now. That is my projection relative to the player props. So right now, Wemby's at 24 projected points. That's 3.7 points below the player prop line. So that this gives me a quick eyeball look at the things that I need to tweak. I haven't played with any rates yet for the Spurs. These are all just raw baseline talent rates, but I need to make some adjustments there so that I can get these back up. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make a pretty wholesale adjustment for usage for Wemby. And then he probably needs a rebounding adjustment as well. And once they go in, I'll rerun this to see where everything ends up. Castle actually needs it as well. Wemby's probably going to need a little bit more than that. So then I'll just hold that there for San Antonio. I'll hop back over to the Pels side and see if we had any issues with theirs. And we did. We're massively under on Trey Murphy. We're massively over on Jordan Poole. I don't get the sense this will be very difficult to fix. If I bump up Murphy and lock in Zion, Jordan Poole will just come down naturally. So let's refresh those sims for a second. We could talk about the talent on this team. The Pels aren't very good. Using the dunks and threes EPM calculations based on the rotations, it's an average offense, which I think we're not surprised to see. I mean, when Jordan Poole's healthy, when Herb Jones and Murphy and Zion are all healthy, like the offense can scramble to be average, but defense, 3 points below average here. This is their problem. And it's because they're anchoring their center spot with Yves Missi, Karlo Makovic, Zion from time to time, Derek Queen. They just don't have it, which is fine. Okay, so that was perfect. We made those adjustments to the rates. If you see a star, that means they're inside the threshold of the prop and everything's fine. So we got Poole right, we got Murphy right. It's basically just a small tweak to Zion and probably a little bit of a bump to Saddiq Bey with a rate or with a minutes change to Derek Queen. So I'm going to take Queen up to 12, Makovic down to 3. It seems like Queen is the guy that's in the sight line right now for the player prop markets. And then I'm going to lock Saddiq Bey in. San Antonio should probably be pretty close. They weren't all that far off. Yeah, see, like we nailed Zion already. A little bit lighter on some of the bench guys. I'm not going to go too crazy on this one. I'm just going to lock in Devin Vassell. Rerun this. We'll be good to go. Is that message that I just got, the projections? All right, NBA projections have just hit. Ownership should be coming up right behind it. So then we'll hop over to the Stokastic sims and sim this bad boy out. 40 and 20 for Wendy. Yes, Wendy I would expect is going to have a massive day. Oh, I got to make some adjustments to rotations because of Zion. Yeah, we should be getting into the sims. We'll start running some sims. We'll go team by team and take a look at everything that we have right now. That'll probably cover me. Sure does. All right, I'm going to pull up the projections at stokastic.com. You guys should check those out. If you want to get the projections that exist at Stokastic, very easy to do, folks. There's still a promo going on. The promo code is OKC. The link is in the description of this video. If you want to come in and get the NBA package, you can get it for 20% off using this promo code. If you want to get access to everything, now on the NBA side, it's projections, ownership, it's our single lineup simulator, contest generator, the full sims, the post-contest sims, everything we have. We have most of that for every other sport as well. NFL is here. I would imagine a lot of you like the NFL. If you're playing that, that could cover you if you get the all-access package. PGA, there's an MMA pay-per-view this weekend. Tom Aspinall fights. If you want to play MMA DFS, we've got sims for that. No NHL sims, but we do have projections and ownership. What more could you look for here, man? 20% off. We don't run a ton of promos like this. If we have some subs that win millies or really big numbers, we might run a flash sale or something like that. But when it comes to stuff like this, if you're going to be playing DFS, come in and get the 20% right now. No reason not to. I love these tools. I use them every day. Projections. Your highest projected player today is Giannis. But Giannis Antetokounmpo not on the slate. So I'm just going to filter out. All right, we'll just leave it there. It won't make a difference. Victor Wembanyama. 56.9 fantasy points, $11,300, $200 cheaper than Luka Doncic. Seems pretty clear to be the priority pay up option today. You've got AD at 9,800. You've got Cade at 10K. You've got a pretty full 9K range, honestly. Donovan Mitchell, Şengün, Zion, Trae Young, Ant, Durant, Booker. I gotta be honest, most of that 9K range looks like shit. A lot of overpriced dudes. Donovan Mitchell's gonna have to go crazy in 22 minutes against this Nets team. Interesting. Number one value play on the day right now. Ryan Rollins for Milwaukee. Not going to be that useful. It's a shame. Kevin Porter Jr. going to be out. Ryan Rollins is cheap, but that's showdown salary that you see there. So your technical best value right now is a $5,800 Andrew Wiggins, followed by a $5,800 Donovan Clingan. He's not on the main slate either. So let's see if we got the ownership up so we could run a sim. All right, ownership kicked off at 9:13. That should be done within a minute or so. I've got it pulled up now. Valentine spot. I mean, he's never gonna play. He's not real. Doug, are the Sims like the old Fantasy Cruncher? No. What's the best way to describe it? If Fantasy Cruncher is a horse and buggy, the Sims are rocket ships. They're not even close. Gotta let the dog in. Sorry, folks. I'm going to guess when I look back at my phone that ownership's up. It is not. Oh. Ownership's running slow. Might be 5 minutes. Plenty of time to kill still. Let's hop back over to my projections. Did I close that? Evidently I did. Pull my stuff back up. I assume most of these rates for that most recent San Antonio sim are now about as close as they need to be. And they mostly are. So I only have one more game that I need to get through that I haven't projected yet. That's going to be Washington and Dallas. So we could take a look at that in a sec. We could take a peek at what I have at the top here. From a value perspective, at least. Without the final Wizards-Dallas game, I got Steven Adams looking pretty damn tasty. Zaire Williams is breaking some stuff. Probably have Ben Saraf a little over-projected. You can see I'm higher by a point. I'm higher by a rebound. I'm higher by an assist. I probably need to take a minute away from him. PJ Washington is 5K. Can we have that conversation? I haven't simmed him yet, so don't overreact here. That's why you don't see a standard deviation. But yeah, PJ Washington, not the flat min any longer. That's always nice. Highest projected guy for me so far. This likely won't be too big of a surprise. That is Victor Wembanyama. That does not shock me in the slightest. Let's finish off Washington and Dallas so we can do a full rotation here as we await the ownership projections on Stokastic.com. So first thing we need to do, this should be what everybody does. We go to Popcorn Machine. These are the rotations from the opener. We want to know about Washington. So they did stagger Sarr and Keyshawn George. And by stagger, I mean they played an extra rotation. So if I go back and look at this now, I had stagger set up on CJ and Keyshawn George. I'm going to add a stagger to Sarr. My CJ stagger is more to keep him away from Chris Middleton from a usage perspective. Well, let's look at some of their playing time, try to read into, you know, how bad they are and how we can deal with it. Middleton played 28, didn't play the final 2 minutes. So in theory, Chris Middleton was tracking 30 minutes in their opener. Jones, do I plan on covering the 4 late games? Probably not. But keep your eyes peeled. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Tails. I'll have some late slate content that I can post outside of this show, but this is just going to be the main. So that's more than I was expecting Middleton to play. I had him in for 25 in the opener. I'm going to take that back up to 28. Let me close that Grizzlies one as well. Don't need that Tyler Hero injury update either. Sar was trending for about 28. Bub Carrington was 30 or 31. CJ was 30 or 31. Keyshawn George was slightly more as well. So let's get Carrington up to 30. 31 to Keyshawn George. Then let's see who started coming off the bench. Bagley was first. He played every second Sar didn't in the first half. In the second half, they went small with, I guess, Cam Whitmore at the 5. That's interesting. So I think 14 there for Bagley is fine. And then for Cam Whitmore, he played about 19 minutes. I got him in for 21. Let's make it 20. Alex Morris, this Washington team is so bad. I will highlight that in a second. So I got to get like 14 minutes onto Marvin Bagley, which is good. Trey Johnson played 26. That's probably a little bit more than I would typically expect, but I got him in for 25, so we could hold that. Kispert played 18. Take one away there. Champagne played the second half. About 6 minutes. Bring that down. Will Riley got a random rotation. So I'm 6 minutes short right now. And I have hit everybody that played. They lost about that time in blowout runs. So I'm just going to hide the rest of those minutes on Will Riley and Tristan Vukcevic. And now we'll take a look at this Dallas team because they were different than what I expected. Let's take a look at that first Dallas rotation. Obviously, not opening night, but opening main night, they got steamrolled by the San Antonio Spurs. AD played 32. They didn't have to play the final 4 minutes of this game because it was already over. So we'll keep AD right there at 33. That seems fine. Flag played 32 as well. That seems fine. Now, Lively played pretty limited minutes, but 3 fouls in that second stint completely removed him from the game. I don't think picked up another 2. None of that was helpful. They want him to be out there, so I'm not going to touch his minutes. We need to look at PJ and Clay. PJ obviously got in some foul trouble as that chalk play right out of the gate. Still got to 30 minutes. I have no reason to suspect he's not going to play 30. And then Klay Thompson played 22. I got him in for 26. I'm going to make that 25. Now, off the bench, first guy off the bench was Najee Marshall. That had a lot to do with PJ Washington's foul trouble. So we probably got a little bit more playing time for Najee Marshall than we would have expected. I've got him in for 21. I'm actually okay with that right now. Max Christie got some pretty sizable playing time as well. I don't have that in there for him now, so I'm going to bump him up to 21. D'Angelo Russell was just a straight backup, played 15 minutes. I'll make that 18 because I think they're going to need him offensively moving forward. Ryan Nembhard played about 10, which is what I have in already. Dwight Powell played about 8. That dude is just forever on this team. Have that in already. And then we got like a rotation of Brandon Williams late. But we did not get these 15 minutes from Caleb Martin. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the rotation right now. I will get Brandon Williams into the rotation a little bit for an 8-minute stretch. Takes me to 231. And this is the grind each day, guys. This is how it works each morning. Wake up, project rotations, hope for the best. Final game to be projected. Let's see how it looks. By the way, Dallas, negative 1.5 team right now with everybody that I have projected in. That would obviously look a little bit different if you were able to project it with Kyrie Irving in. So let's see what this ends up looking like running these sims. Once the standard deviation refreshes on the screen, then we'll know that the projections are updated. Still waiting on ownership, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's early. It's a 7-game slate. This stuff is certainly going to change. And Daniel Gafford is questionable today. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility that we see him. I think he's probably still 1 game away, but he is not officially out yet. So keep that in mind. All right, well, we nailed AD. We are massively low on Cooper Flag, which doesn't surprise me. I didn't hard code his usage rate. It is going to be light until I do that. Otherwise, most of this was fine. AD probably averaging a little bit too much in the assist realm, but I think Cooper Flag will correct most of that problem. The Wizards, on the other hand, I'm sure look awful. Pretty much there. The only guy that we're very light on is Keyshawn George and a bit of Chris Middleton. So let's see how we end up on a fresh one. By the way, Bilal Coulibaly for Washington still out. Look at that. Negative 8.8 as a team rating. That is dreadful. They are 4 points worse than average on offense and 5 points worse than average on defense. It's not good, guys. I mean, they don't have... Of everybody that I projected in for the Wizards today, only Keyshawn George projects as a positive defensive player at 0.2. And really, it's CJ McCollum at plus 1.3 offense and Middleton at plus 0.2 offense. Everybody else is a negative. These guys are just bad everywhere, which is crazy to think about. Updated stats look pretty good, other than the fact that I am dramatically overrating Chris Middleton's assist rate and CJ McCollum's assist rate. I was 2 assists over on Middleton. Not surprised to see something like that. He typically gets more assists, but these guys don't finish as well. It handles some of that on the back end, but not all of it. All right, so we got the Wizards here. Let's check the Mavs to see how that first updated sim went. Now we're light on AD, which is not surprising. A little bit light on PJ Washington, a little bit light on Clay. Who do you guys like tonight? Because we're a minute or two away from me having my full projection set up, and I can start giving you guys what I truly like, at least to start the day. Yes, Jake. Greg is in jail. Gonna be smuggling in matzah through his butt. Simulations are running. When they're done, we can start looking at the entire slate. We can break it down team by team. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button if you have not done that yet. That is always very, very helpful for me. Love to see you guys here. When you guys hit the like button, that's just helpful for us. The more likes we get, the more content we can make. It's really that easy. Wow, very light on Clay. I don't know what's causing that, but we'll fix it. And then Cooper Flag assist rate. Should be close enough. I'm going to hit this one, and then we'll go look at it. All right, for the most part, we're good on Washington. So let me trigger that sim. Perfect. Here we go. First look at the slate using my projections right now until we get to the Stokastic projections. This is what I've got for today. I'm going to look position by position to start. We'll look at the point guard spot first. So this is anybody with point guard eligibility. I've got Ja Morant as the highest projected point guard. Wait, did I forget to do the Knicks in Boston? Apparently I did. Or at least I didn't edit Knicks in Boston. Yeah, I did that at 7:49. Oh yeah, we're way off on Knicks in Boston. Let me run these guys too. Way under on Brunson. Rest of that might actually hash itself out. I projected the rotations, but apparently I didn't tweak stats. Yeah, we're miles away on Derek. Oh yeah, all my locked Derek White stats are gone. That's weird. It'll be a quick edit. All right, Boston's running now too. I was wondering why that looked weird. All right, let's get back to the point guard look. So, Valentine spot, just said it in chat. Hope Morant sits. You guys can see it on the screen right now. Ja Morant is questionable for today, so we shall see. The problem is, he looks really good if he plays. I mean, you guys can see the different value scores here. He's the best value that I see at point guard if you're paying up for somebody. Spot against Miami seems fine for right now. I don't mind. I'm a little higher on his assist prop right now. Could be a conversation for a different thing. But for right now, I find Ja Morant to be pretty interesting. We'll see what he ends up being projected for from an ownership perspective. NBA ownership is complete. So we can go take a look at that now as well. I'm going to pull up the boom bust tool. We can get our first look at what people are up to for today. But as I look at my projections, I certainly see Ja Morant as someone that's pretty interesting. Derek White will be. I'm 2 points under. That'll make him look quite a bit better. Brunson looks good. His projections are now set. Yeah, Brunson and Morant as the pay up point guards. Like them a lot more than I like Cade. Like them a lot more than I like Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. The top pay end stuff or pay up stuff. Brunson, Morant, Derek White, Stephon Castle. No fault. Do I do any boost with the Sims? Yes, 100%. I think everybody should be doing tweaks for themselves to try to get a little bit more of what they want. Well, you know, if you don't have a guy that you think you want and you give him 100% boost because he's 1% owned, like, don't be surprised if he doesn't show up. But no, I love him. You gotta turn the gears a bit. Einsteinium says, I don't mind going back to Davion Mitchell. I think that's reasonable. I don't have him projected great. I am short an assist and a half. That will make him look a little bit better, though. But 6K is a real price tag for him. If we're talking about value at the point guard spot, Ben Suraf, as I mentioned, I'm a little over projected to. So that will come down as a value option, but I do like him. Drew Smith is there for Miami. Probably not the direction we want to go for value. I don't see point guard as a spot that we're like trying to find something unless we get people out. Like if Ja Morant ends up out, then Javon Small and or Cam Spencer are going to look very different. Javon Small will then become one of the most popular dudes that exists today. Small is the second name here. I can see that my head is blocking that. I'll play with these cards later. So keep that in mind. Let's look at shooting guard now. Highest projected shooting guard for me at this moment is Donovan Mitchell at 9,100. I got him a 1.5 ahead of KD. I don't think that either one of them look that great. Castle, who I mentioned before, looks pretty solid here, and I'm under projecting him a hair. Desmond Bane looks pretty good here at 6,900. Is a pace up spot for Orlando as well. Trey Murphy looks fine. CJ McCollum looks fine. Amen looks okay. I don't like Norm Powell. I know people saw that first game. He's 7,500 today. That seems like a lot for Norm Powell. I don't really want to go that direction. And if we're looking for any sort of value, Klay Thompson, although he is a little over projected for me right now. Najee Marshall as well, shooting guard, small forward eligibility. That's really nice flexibility for Najee Marshall. He's a guy that I think looks pretty good here if you're looking for somebody. And then, Reed Shepherd, point guard, shooting guard eligible against Detroit. This is a much better spot for Reed Shepherd than what he got in his trial by fire against the Thunder. But I think Reed Shepherd provides a little bit of value here as well at that $4,800 price tag. Small forward. Most expensive small forward is Kevin Durant at 9,200. Best pay up option is probably Jaylen Brown. Obviously no Tatum. Drew's gone. Porzingis is gone. Gonna play a ton of minutes. At 8,600, he's probably a little underpriced. He'll probably be in the low 9s in a week or two. So I think Jaylen Brown stands out. I think Franz looks good. I'm a little underprojected on his assist mark right now, but he's still a 5x value at 7,600. Again, great game environment against Atlanta. It's not that I don't think Atlanta's defense is good, because it is, but at least it's a pace-up spot. Santi Aldama is 7,100. Definitely don't do that. That's a no. Cooper Flagg looks fine if you want to go that direction. Trey Murphy looks good. Keep your eye on Josh Hart. That'll be interesting news for the Knicks. He is questionable with those back spasms. And then if we're looking for pay down value at the small forward spot, PJ Washington is still underpriced. He is 5K, small forward, power forward eligible. Now, he is not the same value that he was 2 days ago, but he still looks good. Zaire Williams is 3,500. Look, Brooklyn sucks. If he's the guy in 20 minutes, that could be fine. We talked about Najee Marshall. Sadiq Bey looks really interesting at 4,100 for a value play for the Pels. I think he's just going to get a lot of time. They don't have a ton of real dudes. Sadiq Bey can play in a rotation. And then $3,100 Josh Minot. Probably not going to play a ton of minutes, but as a pay down option, he is a part of what Boston is doing. At the power forward spot in my projections, AD looks like the pretty clear payout. I do have him ahead of Alperen Şengün right now. I'm a little high on AD's points, so that will come down, but I'm also a little high on Şengün. But as of right now, it looks like AD looks a little bit better than Şengün. That shouldn't be all that surprising. AD gets to play the Wizards. Same positional eligibility, basically the same price. I definitely lean a little bit more towards AD because he gets to face the Wizards. But, I mean, the game that Şengün had in the opener, I certainly would like to get a little bit more of Alperen Şengün. He's close to a 5x value, so it's not too bad. Zion's fine. Probably a little underprojected. Probably looks more like Şengün. Towns is questionable. Keep your eye on that. I mean, that Knicks team is just walking wounded. If we're talking about the value plays at power forward, we mentioned PJ Washington. We mentioned Zaire Williams. We mentioned Sadiq Bey. 5.1x value on Bam Adebayo, if that's interesting to you guys against Memphis. Nothing's really standing out here at this power forward spot. It's kind of gross. They don't have a ton of good plays. I think you're either getting to that PJ Washington area, or you're going up to get AD and or Alperen Şengün. Finally, the center spot. We know who's at the top of this list. It's not close. It's Wemby. I will say, at this moment, Anthony Davis is probably a better point per dollar option than Wemby because of this matchup, but it's not like Wemby doesn't have an awesome matchup as well. I am a rebound and a half short on Wemby, so that will improve him. I think I'm just going to have a lot of Wemby and AD. Bam sneaks in here. From a value perspective, I mean, look, Steven Adams was pacing to play like 30 minutes in regulation last time out. I got him in for 25 here. 25 minutes of Steven Adams is the best center value you'll get. Even if he plays like 21 or 22, he's still a really good value. So pay attention to Steven Adams. Pay attention to $4,200 Jock Landale. Unfortunately, he's a good value. Ariel Hukporti is $3,300 for the Knicks. If for some reason Towns doesn't play, he will be a key value, but I think he's a value either way. Nick Claxton's okay today if you need value at $5,700. But that's my lap through my projections. I guess I could run contenders quickly while we go look at Stokastic. Okay, my contenders are going to run for DraftKings. We'll see my optimal rates. Apparently I'm missing a player, so that's not going to run. Here's the boom bust tool, ladies and gents. For the main, the highest owned guy on DraftKings to start our day is going to be Andrew Wiggins. We're not surprised to see that. 55% owned, small forward, power forward eligible. Tyus Jones is $3,500 as a value. Did I miss him in my conversation? I don't remember saying it. Was I seeing that at point guard? I'm a little bit lower. What do I have him projected for? 20 minutes, 17 fantasy points. What do we have him at? 19 fantasy points. Okay. I'll take a look at Tyus Jones later. That might be a little light there. Cooper Flagg showing up as a really nice value. There's PJ Washington, as I mentioned before. Those are the four guys north of 30% owned. You see AD, Bam, Adams, Jock Landale. These are all very similar to the names we were looking at before. But we know what we need to do right now. If we've got projections and we've got ownership, I'm going to head to the Sims and we're going to let this one rip and we're going to find out what's popping in the Sims to start the day. We got about 15 minutes to go before we turn this one over to live before lock. Do not forget, I showed you guys before, I'll show you again right now, 20% off any NBA or all access package at Stokastic. The link is in the description. We've got constant updates to everything we're doing. I think this is the best place you can be for NBA coverage between the data, the tools, the audio, video, written content. It doesn't get any better, and we're going to get more and more of it thanks to Tails. Ruthie P, you can see it on the screen right now. 20% off. But let's be clear. You should expect to lose most days. That is DFS. There is no magic bullet to save that. In general, if you're playing a large field GPP, only 25% of those entries cash. You just play a single entry contest. 75% of the time, you're probably not going to be in the money or something in that neighborhood. More often than, like, you can be for a year, you could have an ROI of 5%. But each day, your expectation is to lose like 40%. It's weird like that. We could help you out here by using the sim tools to be better. 20% off right now. And by the way, because I haven't mentioned it yet, you guys got to go follow me, the rest of our crew on Tails. If you're looking for bets, if you're looking for DFS info, if you're looking for pick'em stuff, right here. Odd Shopper and Tails. You can go to the picks feed. This is free. We've got free bets being posted for everything. You know Ben. He's on the screen right now. You can tail his Charlotte versus North Texas over in football. Ben's a wild one. Greg is posting NBA bets. This is a sea of them. It's not just him. There's plenty of people on Tails that you could follow or subscribe to if you want to try to buy their bets. Lofty's here. Jake's here for hockey. Lindy's here. Ben's here, as I talked about. I'm here. I'm posting all sorts of stuff. Tons of stuff. Look it. I'll show you what I posted up yesterday. I posted my top 5 optimal plays coming out of my projections after Cason Wallace was injured. We're posting perfect lineup type stuff, myself and Lofty. I posted my top 5 GPP plays yesterday with the 3 optimal plays around them. That was a 50% ROI lineup. That was a couple days ago. Top value plays for the slate. I'm going to have a ton of content going up here if you guys want to follow it on Tails. It is totally free. My partner in crime on the deeper dive. You guys can follow DK DFS if you want to. He's got a package you could subscribe to. Now, he's posting free stuff. This is free. Here's everything you want to know if you're betting on NBA player props. He's got a full thread posted about every single game. Now, this was for 2 days ago, but he's going to have one of these for today, and you could subscribe to him directly. He is fully tracked on Pickett. If you're looking for somebody to follow, DK DFS is a great guy to do it. All of his rates are here if you're looking for it. But this is Tails now, guys. You should be there. Plenty of content if you're looking for it. All right. The contest has been generated. The lineups are being simulated. What are we going to end up with? Josh, on one of the last perfect lineup videos, you asked who would have the most rushing receiving yards. Okay, cards in my wallet. So here's how this works. For the giveaways on the main slate, the next main slate video is where we handle the giveaway. For the giveaways for Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football, they happen on the next showdown. So if there's a giveaway for Monday Night Football, the giveaway will happen on Thursday Night Football. We didn't have a video yesterday, so we'll handle that giveaway today. We were about to put the video out yesterday. We had it all recorded, and then the Aaron Jones news dropped. So the video was just useless, but we didn't have time to re-record. But if you ever saw one, like for most rushing receiving yards, that's obviously going to be there. But if it was for the main slate, you'll see that giveaway today. We'll have the main slate perfect lineup up early this afternoon. Okay, Sims are done. Top 150 lineups in the Sims for today. The most exposed player is Andrew Wiggins. 5,800, small forward, power forward eligible. PJ Washington, second. Jock Landale, third. Paolo Banchero, fourth. Can't say that I'm mad about that one. Then we see Steven Adams, who I mentioned. AD, we're 2Xing. That seems right. We're also pretty heavy on Franz. Going to assume we don't have as much Bane. Biggest leverage plays that we had. Washington, Landale, Banchero, Adams, Wiggins, Anthony Davis, Franz. We're 15% or higher on all of those guys in our first run of Sims. The opposite question. Who are we fading coming out of the Sims to start the day? Sadiq Bey, we're pretty light on. Zion, Nikola Jovic, Donovan Mitchell, Javon Small, he'll look different later. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. We'll see what that ends up looking like by the time we get to lock. Light on Jaylen Brown, I don't love. I'm a little bit heavier on Jaylen Brown. I like him there. But it's more about the stands, it seems. Let's see what the number one lineup is in my first simulation results. Cooper Flagg, Desmond Bane, Andrew Wiggins, Michael Porter Jr., Steven Adams, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis. That's a 4-man Dallas stack. Flagg, Klay, PJ, AD. Okay. Do you guys want to build some lineups in the single lineup sim? We got a couple minutes left. I think it's the perfect time to do this. So we're going to bump it up to large. We're going to set it to 25%. And the first thing I want to do is see the optimal, because this is where we know how to start. So I'm going to label this as optimal. 270 projection, 241 ownership. Okay? Let's see what it looks like to start. And then let's figure out the 2 spots that we think we could 2v2. So that's our baseline right now. Optimal, 59, 270, 240. First thing we want to do is figure out how can we cut ownership without really cutting our fantasy points. And by the way, this lineup is Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, PJ Washington, Steven Adams. I know it gets cut off behind my head here. Then it's going to be Flag, Wiggins, AD. So from an ownership perspective, where do I think I can get better here? First, I'm going to take Tyus Jones out just so I could look at the value plays for today. So where can we find some value but lack of ownership? All right, we're not going to go to Goga Batadze. That's not it. MPJ is a little interesting from a value perspective and some lighter ownership. What happens if I take out Cooper Flag for MPJ? I should be able to move these guys around. Or not. Oh, Franz doesn't have that. That's annoying. Okay. Optimal there. I want to get MPJ in, I think. Cut Wiggins and get Banchero in there. Okay, Einstein, we can do that. I'll take out Wiggins, the most chalk play of the day. We'll put in Paolo Banchero. We got to free up $2,700 in salary. Which, in this case, our best bet is now to take out Franz. Since if we're going to have Paolo, we don't need Franz. So if I'm going to put Paolo in there, I'll take out Franz. I'm going to take out Tyus Jones too, just to see what it gives us. It gives us Tyus Jones, Keldon Johnson. Let's see how we look. Basically treading water. I want to save this optimal. All right, maybe it's... So since Tyus stayed, let's take out Franz and put in Paolo. And I guess I'll take Steven Adams out. And let's see where we end up. Gives us back to Steven Adams with Keldon Johnson again. You still want Wiggins in there? Okay, we could look at that. Let's get Wig back in there. And then I'm going to take Flag out, honestly. Gives us 2 spots. Adams Bridges now. So 268 projection, 220 ownership. Previously, so we gave up 2 fantasy points, but we lost 21 points of ownership. By all accounts, this should be better. Oh, not only is it better, it is extra nice. 69% sim ROI, 43% cash rate. And I still think we can make this one even better. What other value exists that's in the space of Tyus Jones as like a cheap guy? It's Jock Landale. It's Julian Champagny. How can I get Champagny in? That leaves us 5,400 at point guard. It ends up being Bub Carrington. 265 projection. So we're down 4.5, but we've cut 35% ownership. We're probably a little bit too far away. We probably need another point. But this will be good. Yeah, 47. There is an upgrade here somewhere. What about Bub and Adams? Allen and Tyus again. I don't want Tyus. That's the thing. Tyus, Adams, Bridges. I just don't want Tyus. So let's pick the point guard. Best value is Tyus Jones. Next is Cooper Flagg. There's our answer. Peyton Pritchard. Now, we might not be able to fill these spots well. Goga and Tyus comes back. 267 and 211. We're close. We're close. I got to get Tyus out of there. But to get Tyus out of there, I'm going to take Bane out. It's probably going to keep Tyus, but I think we lose Bane. Tyus in, Adams in, CJ in, 269, 224. This should be the best lineup we've built, and this will be our call. This is how we're going to leave it. 76.6. See, just so we could talk through it. This lineup is 1 fantasy point off the optimal, but 15 percentage points lower in ownership. That's the goal of what we're doing when we're building these lineups. How can we get the most fantasy points we can find while also offloading ownership? That's the key to it all. 76% sim ROI, 45% cash rate. I told you guys the schedule for the rest of the day. NFL Strategy Show, Lofty and Greg coming up next. Deeper dive with me at 5. NBA Live Before Lock at 6. Playback at 7. It's going to be an awesome day of basketball. I'm going to have tons of content getting posted across Twitter and Tails everywhere. So keep your eyes peeled for it, guys. And don't forget, sign up at Stokastic using the promo code OKC. I love you guys. I'm not going to see you again until Sunday, but that's not going to be NBA. I'm on the first 45 minutes of the NFL show from 9:15 until 10 o'clock, and we're going to do this right here, what you see on the screen. I'm going to be building main slate lineups using our sims and the single lineup sim. Take it all the way up till 10 o'clock. Good luck, everybody. Have some fun today. Go tell Lofty and Greg I said hi. They're coming up next.